Hello, welcome to my second video about the experiment on the acceleration of the hydrogen process. This video gives a quite full view of the experiment, but those of you who want more details, please visit the YouTube address here below for the first part of the video. The accelerator was hanged up on a stand with three legs. There are the stand, the channel of the accelerator here with the hydrogen balloon on the images. The circular channel made from copper, weight of 11.11 kilogram. The volume is 1 liter. The diameter of the circulation is 85 centimeters. The internal diameter of the channel is 20 millimeters. The pressure within the channel is 5 bar. There are 14 electromagnetic drives here with specific wiring mounted on the external surface of the channel. The feeding is coming from two accumulators, both with 12 volts and 46 ampere hours. What are the basics of the experiment? The acceleration is increasing the intensity of the hydrogen process. The internal energy of the hydrogen is increasing, which is also increasing the quantum impact of the hydrogen. The quantum impact of the gravitation is constant. The circular channel is positioned at 10 centimeters above the Earth's surface. The quantum impact of the hydrogen process is acting in all directions around the channel, downwards, upwards, sidewards, as it is shown on the figure. For us now, the downward direction is the important one. The quantum impact downwards is conflicting with the quantum impact of gravitation. The question here is, what are the consequences of the conflict? But first, how to be sure that there are a conflict indeed? The simplest ways were to check and to learn, is the accelerator lifted up or is the accelerator losing weight as a result of the conflict? Let us take a look now. Is the conflict lifting the accelerator up? The accelerator was hanged up on an arm with two sides. On one side, the accelerator, on the other side, a long rod serving as a cursor. The length of the arm with the accelerator was at 10 centimeters from the support, from the point of the support. The length of the cursor was 2 meters. There was, for the balance, also a counterweight on the arm of the cursor. And there was a scale in front of the cursor, and the cursor was in balance with the accelerator. If the accelerator moves up, the cursor goes down. The experiment was made in the early hours of the sunrise in total calm. There were various protections in order to exclude external impacts. And I examined the position of the cursor against the scale in front of the computer screen with an enlarging glass. You can also do it if you wish. The video you will see now are selected for showing the most significant periods of the measurements. The birds are chirping in the sunrise. Before the acceleration started, the long arm has a minimal sway. I left the arm for swaying out, and the cursor finally stabilized. In the 12 minutes, the acceleration was switched on, and there was an immediate impact. The conflict increased the amplitudes. After a while, the swinging started calming down and finally quasi-stabilized at a certain level. The switch off from full power caused the biggest impact. The amplitude of the cursor almost reached 1 millimeter. After the switch off, the amplitudes were calming down, but very slowly, due to the still increased internal temperature. The full stop took 2.5 hours. The 0.1, 0.2 millimeter movements of the cursor downwards corresponds to a displacement of the accelerator upwards by 7.5 micrometers. So the conflict lifted the accelerator up on 7.5 micrometers. The outcome was fine, but I wanted the proof in different way as well. With the conflict influencing the weight of the accelerator, I measured the weight of the construction during the acceleration as well. Now the accelerator was hung up on a balance. The capacity of the balance was 20 kilogram. The preciseness of the measures was 50 grams. This level of preciseness would exclude the use, but the preciseness of the repetitive measures was 10 grams, which means repeating the measures, the difference will be no more than 10 grams. So I made repetitive measures. The absolute weight, in fact, was not important. What was important was the change. There is here a video demonstrating the measurement. This is the balance. I measured the weight of the accelerator with. At the start, the balance is free. The accelerator is hanging fully on the stand. I'm placing the accelerator slowly on the balance with the spanner for avoiding any possible impulse. Now, the balance is loaded in full. The measured weight was 11.11 kilogram. In this fully loaded status, the balance was reset to 0, and I started to lift the accelerator gradually back from the balance on the stand. Now the weight is fully taken off from the balance. As the balance at the full load was reset to 0, the measured weight was minus 11.06 kilogram. So the difference in the measured weight was 50 plus minus 10 gram. A large number of measurements were made. The manufacturer of the balance was consulted for being sure the measured data were correct. The results were always similar. the weights in downward directions were always more than upward. There were also test measures made without the acceleration of the hydrogen and with different solid test objects, weights of 11 kilo. The differences were never measured. The weights downward and upward directions were always equal. Summarizing the result, the conclusion is that the acceleration of the hydrogen process decreased the weight of the 11 kilogram accelerator by 50 plus minus 10 gram and lifted the accelerator up by 7.5 micrometers. The experiment has given also the proof of the existence of the quantum impact of gravitation. So there is a conflict developing between the quantum impacts of the hydrogen process in acceleration and the gravitation. But the main point of this experiment is that the conflict is generating in that case, if the accelerator is not free for movement, if the construction is fixed, if the accelerator is free for displacement, the conflict is dissolving. It is fixed. If it is fixed, the conflict is generating within the channel, within the hydrogen process. And the internal energy further increasing, and the temperature goes up. Less conflict, smaller pressure, less increase of density, lower temperature, small energy. Big conflict, large pressure, large density increase, high temperature, large energy. The generation of the energy in my small scale experiment was small. But what would a large scale experiment bring? Would the result mean an energy potential to be utilized? This was all I wanted to share with you. Take care. All the best. See you next time.